Hey, welcome back to the VET S.O.S. Veteran Entrepreneur Spotlight. Hey, so remember, don't drown in the sea of transition. Grab the VET S.O.S. Lifeline. Hey, the Veteran Entrepreneur Spotlight is proud to be affiliated with the Neil Haley Show, which is also sponsored by Spirit Point Solution. So what is Spirit Point Solution? They are a online one-stop shop for leading edge services and training from multiple vendors. That's from your AI training to your corporate gifts and so much more. They have everything you need to help your organization thrive in a modern economy. So check out all their offerings at spearpointonline.com. That again is spearpointonline.com. Remember to use our code VET S.O.S. on anything that you purchase there. That will help us to continue our mission of improving the lives of those who have served. Today's show, we have a very special guest today. We have I'm sorry, let me get that right now. Dr.
It's okay.
Dr. Brenda Pridgen.
Yes.
Perfect. Dr. Brenda Pridgen. She's a retired U.S. Army veteran and dedicated mental health professional with a passion for supporting veterans, service members, and underserved communities. She has over 19 years of active duty service. She experienced firsthand the emotional toll that military life can take on individuals and their families. After retiring from the military, Dr. Pridgen pursued several new missions, most recently helping others heal. Presently, Doc is serving as a founder of Authentic Mind LLC. In addition to social work, Dr. Brenda Pridgen is a passionate advocate for mental health awareness, especially in the military and local communities. And as a public speaker and educator, she's regularly presents at community and veteran events, support groups, and workshops on topics such as trauma, recovery, resilience, and suicide prevention. How you doing today, Doctor?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Absolutely. May I call you Brenda?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
That's what's
All
on my
right.
birth certificate.
I didn't know, maybe you want to be called doctor. I don't know.
I'm cool. I'm easy.
Absolutely. So let's hop right into the interview. So during your transition time, like kind of talk to us, like what were the three biggest lessons you learned from your transition from the time in the military to your civilian life now? And then also how those lessons shape who you are today?
The biggest transition or the biggest challenges were when I got out, there was no such thing as TAPS and all that, good
Mm-hmm.
transition services. Those were things that were uh, beginning to come into sight. So
Mm-hmm.
it was like, okay, my biggest thing was like, okay, what now? I'm still a young blood. I have some more life to live. What else
Uh-huh.
can I do? So that
Yes.
was one. The second thing was I began to think about I needed to learn how to rest, whatever that
Mm.
is and whatever that looked like. I had no clue because, as as a veteran, it's always go, 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 hurry up and
Yes.
wait, that kind of thing. So I didn't know how to
Mm-hmm.
just be still and rest. I had to
Mm-hmm.
do something. The other thing was I did have a sense of curiosity and a
Mm.
newness because I was still young and I wasn't 75 yet, you know. Not yet,
Uh-huh.
so I knew I had some other things to do, and then I still had younger children, so I those were the 3 things that challenged me. Skills that I brought into that was the second half of the question, right? What
Yeah.
skills did I transition with? The same skills, that I use within, compassion, empathy, uh
Mm.
as a leader, I always had this saying is that I would never ask someone to do something that I wouldn't do myself.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I wouldn't ask you to pick up cigarette butts if I'm not gonna pick up cigarette butts or scrub toilets if I'm not gonna scrub toilets kind of thing. So those
Gotcha.
were just a sense of faithfulness, loyalty, um, what do I want to say? It's not like being on time, but being on time,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So those were things that were major that came into my transition, even as a civilian.
Got you. So when you got out, what was your rank when you got out? Retired?
Sergeant first class,
So
promotable actually. I was getting ready to
Sergeant
make
first
master
class got
sergeant.
out. So you got
Hmm.
out back in the day, there was no taps like we have today where there's so much information. They basically
Yeah.
I'm assuming they just gave you a DD-214 and said, hey, have a
Yep.
good life or thank you for your
Ah.
service, as they always say.
Hmm. I don't even
Wow.
think they were saying that then. It was more like, "Bye."
Got you. So you really didn't have any type of guidance. You really had to, you had to start all over again once you got out.
Yes, it was like a new life,
Mm,
it was like, "Go, bye-bye, go figure it out," "Go figure it out for your family, financially, emotionally," in the military, as you know, you're often away from your support system.
yes,
So I was
absolutely.
far away from my support systems.
Mhm.
My immediate family, husband and children were my support systems, but no extended family or anything were support systems. So it was just like, go, go figure it out.
Got you. And that you did. I mean, here you are,
Yeah.
doctor. Like, how did that come about?
Through my military service, and I'm going to tell you, I am also a product of the VRNE program.
Okay.
I had a heart to do some things. I've always done some type of thing, even within the military, even within active duty. I did some small business things here and there. And so I just had, when I got into the space, now
Mhm.
you stop me if I'm going too far, but when
No.
I got into the space of mental health for my personal life, those were not options for me as it is
Yes.
now. I'm so glad for the veterans now to have the options that they have. So those weren't
Mhm.
options. It was like, first of all, you're a female. Up, shut it up. Shut
Yeah.
that up. Don't
Yeah.
talk in the military nor out of the military.
Absolutely.
And so, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm just listening.
Okay. Because I didn't have that space, I went a long time with challenges. No, I'm not just an angry black woman, or I'm not just mean, or I'm not just whatever stereotype you want to try to put on me. You heard the key word try to put on me.
Yes. Absolutely. Mhm.
So those, I didn't know those were things. And then one day, much, much later, decades later, I found out, oh my goodness, it just came to like a breaking point, a boiling point, an overflow. And with that said, that began my own personal mental health journey. And
Got you.
as I went through my journey and I began healing and stabilization in my journey, I would talk to just people in my circle and they would say,
Mhm.
"Well, Brenda, if that's you and I think you're okay, then I really have issues."
Yep.
And I just kept hearing those stories over and over. And I just really wanted to be used as a tool by God to help somebody else. And so that's how the social work and the doctorate, and that's how all of that came about, just with the heart of empathy to help someone else. Because, like myself, many
Mhm.
veterans and people of color will
Yes.
not go to private practice and they will not go to Veterans Affairs or the VA.
No, they won't. They won't.
And
Yeah,
I
you
understand
go
that.
ahead. Uh-huh.
No, that's all I was gonna say. Go ahead.
Yeah, you definitely touched on a lot of different things. As you said before, I mean, back even when I first came in military, mental health was not a thing that was up in the forefront. It was you did your job, you sucked it up, nobody really cared how you felt or what was going on with you mentally. It was more of a, hey, here's what we have to do. We need you to go ahead and get that done.
Yeah,
And to hell with how you feel. So I definitely
yeah,
can relate to what you're talking about, and especially being a veteran of color is definitely a different story
yeah,
for us sometimes. So as sad as it is, that's just kind of how it is sometimes. But
absolutely.
now, so you basically, and I just want to get back to the interview portion. You basically took your passion, or not even a passion, basically took your what you went through in the military and turned it into a passion to help others, which I think is a
That's right.
remarkable thing to do. I mean, what kind of spark was it? Was it like, I guess when the conversations started happening, you did a spark just come up and say, wait a minute, if I could just help other people and make this turn into a passion of mine.
It was I guess you could call it a spark, but it was more than a spark. It was a roaring fire. It was
Mm.
a wildfire. That's how I felt.
Yeah,
Like
got
I
you,
cannot quench this thing. Whatever, however I need to do it, I need to do it. So yeah, it was like that.
got you. All right. So now let me ask you this. And now, so now we all, most time we get out of the military, we can take a safe route and just get a job and get a government contracting job. But the show is called Entrepreneur. You took a different route. Why not just take that safe route of maybe just being at a behavioral health department and just working within the department as a caretaker, I mean, a caregiver? Why not take the safe route than to doing the entrepreneur route?
Right. Well, at the time I got out, I wasn't in social work. I was actually in administration, instructing, education. I was in those atmospheres. And
Okay.
so I thought I was going to take that safe route. I had the opportunity to work with the Urban League and some different
Mhm.
other foundations and things of that nature. So I thought I was going to take that route. And I only took that route for probably um, maybe maybe a year and a half. I don't, and then things changed. I had a child.
Mm.
Surprise. And so stayed in education again for like 12 years, or more. And through my mental health journey, that's when I got into the social work thing. And why did I do that? I didn't know a safe route. I didn't know
Gotcha.
anything about a safe route. What is that? What is a
Uh-huh.
safe route? So I didn't know what that was, but it was my dream. Or my thought. I was gonna get out, get a government job, travel the
Mhm.
world for a little while, and
Yeah.
just go off and do something else I wanted to do. But that
Yeah.
didn't happen. It just didn't
Mhm.
happen, and then when I did start applying for jobs, nothing came through.
Got you.
Nothing.
Wow. So now, I mean, here you are out of the military. I mean, you taking these administrative jobs. You have a child, and then you decide to go into a field that really, I mean, you kind of, as an entrepreneur, we don't get paid every 2 weeks salary. So
Mm-mm.
now, I would say, I mean, that takes a big ball of faith for one, because now you got somebody to feed. Somebody's looking at you to take care of them. So what was that
Absolutely.
like, and what was that mindset like when decided to do the entrepreneur thing?
Sometimes I'm transparent to a fault, but Imma tell you,
Talk
I
to me now.
trust in God. That was
Absolutely, that's what I'm
it.
talking about.
I trust in God. I
Hmm.
didn't have the answers, and I didn't have the know-how, and I didn't necessarily have examples that went before me.
Yes.
To say that other than reading a book or something like that, but, not somebody real in my life. So it's a trust thing, and it was a faith thing for me. And I have a supportive spouse who is
Hmm.
also a military veteran, who is also doing an entrepreneur thing. And we have always been the couple that would say, well, I might not understand what you're doing, but I'm going to support you. So
Uh-huh.
So that too, somebody in the house was working.
Got you. Absolutely. Somebody had to bring on some bacon, right?
Absolutely.
So now, what's been the most rewarding part about being an entrepreneur, now that you're in the thick of everything?
Flexibility. That's one of the
Mm,
things, the flexibility.
flexibility. Talk to us about
Yes,
that. What does it look
not a
like for you?
traditional 9 to 5, and, I have over 19 years of somebody trying to tell me what to do, and I told you I'm married, and somebody is still trying to tell me what to do. I'm like, nobody can tell me what to
Oh my
do."
goodness. Absolutely.
So so it's those things. And my children sometimes trying to tell me what to do. So it was the flexibility. If I don't want to get up at 6, I can stay in the bed until 9 or
Mhm.
10 or whatever. So that is the main thing for me is the flexibility.
Got you.
Yeah.
So so now we know being an entrepreneur is not always sunshine and rainbows. Let's talk about the
Mm-mm.
other side of it. When those checks aren't coming in, or when those services aren't being rendered and you're not getting paid, what's been the most frustrating part about that journey, and then how'd you deal with it?
Uh, Not getting paid. I think that's one of the most frustrating things is not getting paid and not, it's not like you said earlier, it's not coming once a month, every 2 weeks or whatever. It's like, well, you know, we people can be flipped. We want this time and we want something else the next time. And think when the economy and when different things change, all these services sometimes people see as what do you call it? As they're not necessary. There are
Mm-hmm.
services that they may not deem as necessary. I beg to differ, but, they may see it as, just extracurricular type thing. So people may not spend money there, but yeah, not having money, um, networking, I find I
Mm.
sometimes find that challenging too, because it's challenging to find my tribe, our tribe. Sometimes
Yes.
I don't need to know everyone. Everyone doesn't need to know me and vice versa. I just need to be in the right space at the right time doing the right
Mm-hmm.
thing. And sometimes that can be overwhelming for me. So those are probably two things, income and yeah, networking. And I'm still challenged with social media because I go into social media uh with the kicking and screaming kind of thing.
You don't want to do it, huh?
Well, I don't want to constantly do it. Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't You don't have to care about what I'm eating as an entrepreneur. You just want to know how I can help you.
True. Very true. I I I think I think for me as as a guy that does social media a lot, I think the reality side of it kind of lets people see that you are a real person, and you're not just this great amazing doctor that's helping people with mental health, but you do have a life with a husband and a family. So I think sometimes people kind of miss that when they just see just the majority of things that are just all about business. They kind of get a sense of, okay, this person is actually a real person. They have a family, have, they can kind of relate to that. So just
Well,
something
see,
I've
that's
learned a
why I
little bit.
need you, Maurice.
Absolutely. Just let me know. Let me know.
Okay,
So,
I will.
so now you didn't have any type of TAPS class when you got out. Did you go back to any VA resources and try to help you launch your business, or you just kind of said, "Hey God, let's figure this out. I'm finna just step out on faith again and just figure it out on my own."
Yes, I did both.
Okay.
Originally, I'm just gonna figure some things out on my own. But I eventually went to some veteran services, Boots to Business, which is under the Small Business Administration,
Mm-hmm.
Boots to Business, Reboot. But before I did those, I used a program that, believe it or not, is with Goodwill.
Oh,
And it was
really? Okay.
called Good Biz. I hope they
Good
still
biz.
have it, but it's called Good Biz, and it's very similar to Boots to Business.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So would you recommend Boost the Business and Good Biz to someone that's looking to start
Yes.
their own business?
Yes. Yes. I would definitely recommend if there's a Good Biz, because Good Biz was free as well, as, there was no charge for that. I don't remember how
Gotcha.
many weeks it was, but yeah, I would recommend Boots to Business. I would recommend Good Biz because I think it gives a person an idea if they want to be in business or if they
Mhm.
want to turn it into something else. They might not want the whole whole caboodle kind of thing. They might redirect. I think getting the information will direct you where you want to go. And then you start building a support system because Boost to Business particularly they still continue to send me resources and things of that nature and invite me to webinars. So that's a lot of help there. And
Gotcha.
I would also say don't forget your local chamber of commerce because
Okay.
even though they may not educate you, they may help you with laws or keep you out of tax trouble, that kind of thing.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So now tell us about your business, Authentic Mind. What exactly do you do? Who do you serve? And what makes your company different than those others out there?
What I do is I coach or consult because I said earlier, everyone will not go to a therapist. But I have the skills. I possess the skills to counsel. I do possess the skills for therapy as well. And so
Mhm.
I coach one on one. I coach in groups because sometimes people just like to be with like minded people or people within their family. And so I do groups and I do speaking and one to one, whatever is the fit for you. The thing that makes me different is my empathy. That's
Mm,
one thing. The second thing that makes me different is that I believe every individual has the answers on the inside of them. I'm just there to help you discover them.
got you.
I'm there for support. And when you get support, you begin to heal. You begin to become empowered. You
Absolutely.
begin to realize your value and your
Hmm.
worth and your uniqueness. And so I serve women a lot, but I'm not anti anybody other than I do not prefer to work with children. I don't work with children,
Okay,
mostly adults. Yeah,
got
and
you.
veterans are non-veterans.
Okay.
So and even the group, if you want to do just your family as a group, I work with
Uh-huh.
families too. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So now, last question. So where can someone learn more about you, connect with you, and then tap into some of those services that you have? Where should they go?
I'm rebranding some things, but right now you can go to www.authenticmindllc.com or
Okay.
they can email me, which is probably the best way that I will keep up with it, at info at authenticmindllc.com.
Got you. So
Yes.
www.authenticmindllc.com or
Yes.
info@authenticmindllc.com. You can reach out to you via email.
Absolutely. And there is a info sheet if you email and we can talk more if someone feels I'm the right fit for them. And if not, I would
Absolutely.
certainly try to help you find someone that is.
Absolutely. Well, Miss Brenda, we want to thank you so much for joining us on the VET S.O.S podcast today. We've had a great time today with you. On behalf of the VET S.O.S family, we'd like to thank everyone for joining us as well. You can find the VET S.O.S podcast on all your favorite podcast platforms, YouTubes, on all social media platforms. Make sure to subscribe and follow VET S.O.S so you don't miss another episode such as this amazing one we had today. And remember, don't drown in the sea of transition. Grab the VET S.O.S Lifeline.